Hey, family. I hope all is well with you. I am very unique wisdom, and welcome to my universe. Today, I bring to you an interview about spirituality, the occult, magic, and a lot of other practices that the average person may not follow. Today I bring to you.
I'm Jaguar Spellbinder. I'm a magician, left-hand path magician, part of an order known as the Order of the Red Dragon, under our leader and mentor, the Water Alchemist. So I want to give a shout out to the Water Alchemist and all the members of the Order of the Red Dragon. Peace.
Big shout out to y'all. Hey, mentor. What is one of the biggest misconceptions that the average person may have about the occult and magic?
Okay, first of all, let's unwrap this, because the word occult just means hidden, something hidden. Because in ancient times, not everybody was privileged to the knowledge of magic. So one of the main misconceptions is that the occult and magic is somewhat evil. And a lot of that comes from our church background, all these Abrahamic religions. So in order to dispel these things, a person has to, male or female, has to go on a spiritual journey and research the facts for themselves. And
Absolutely.
living in this world now, you have the internet. There's no excuse. The knowledge is out there. The information is out there. So if you search, you shall find. So to answer your question in a nutshell, people feel that the occult and practicing magic is somehow evil, and you're gonna go to some hell for doing such. But with time and patience, you'll find out that all of that is falsehood.
Okay. What two books would you recommend people read that gives you a good, I would say, aspect, or a good, what two books would you recommend people read to learn about the occult?
That's a good question. Okay. One of the main books that I would recommend was Rituals and Spells of Santeria by Margie Gonzalez Whippler. That's one of the main books that I started out with. And it gives you a brief history about the slaves that came over to North America and some of their traditions that they brought. And it gives you an understanding of how Christianity was pushed upon us and how we use some of the saints instead of our deities to hide it from the slave masters. So that's one book. Another book that I highly recommend is The Celestial Ship of the North, by Valentina Stratton. The reason I recommend that book is that it talked to me because I came from a religious background, member of the Hebrew Israelites, and it showed how they basically came out of Egypt with the concept of Akhenaten being one god, and how before they even worshiped the Sabbath, it was actually a female deity, Shabbath.
See, a lot of people have these misconceptions about what is actually written versus what is the truth.
Right. Yeah. And lastly, I would do readings on the early Gnostics, because they talked about how this world that we in would be considered hell, and how they control this world is controlled by the DemiUrge.
What is the DemiUrge? Let us know.
Okay, we gotta unwrap
Let's
that
get into it.
Okay, now, the Gnostics knew that there were these spiritual entities known as the DemiUrge. The word DemiUrge means craftsman. Okay, and they work alongside with the archons. It's a Greek word that means chief magistrate or ruler.
Okay.
Now, these spiritual entities, they're neither male nor female. They're androgynous. Okay, and their whole sole purpose is to feed off the souls of humanity. All right, and to keep you reincarnating in this third dimensional hell. This is hell where we at right now, through pain and suffering, through hopelessness, and their leader is a dollar broth.
Okay.
The one you go to church and worship and call the Most High, and you giving your energy to him, because little beknownst to many of us, we too are powers or titans or gods, and your purpose here is to raise yourself up alchemically, so that when you do transcend, you can transcend to be a god, a demigod, an angel, or even a demon, because the soul never dies. The soul continues. But like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, you too have a transformation that must be done.
Yeah.
And you can only do that by getting to know self and true spirituality.
Okay. What have you learned from your parents that has helped you along your spiritual journey?
Okay, I could say I consider myself fortunate, because I had both parents at home. You know, I was a lot of so-called African Americans don't have both parents growing up, especially
So true.
especially between the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So I had both parents. So I was a blessing in disguise. Repeat the question again. What did I learn? What?
What have you learned from your parents
Okay.
that has helped you along your spiritual journey?
Okay, got you. Well, I can honestly say my spirituality came through my mom.
Okay.
She had a good balance of caring. She cared about people. Sometimes she cared more about people than she did her own self. My father, he represented balance, because he represented discipline, hard work ethic.
So you had that feminine and masculine energy
Yes.
within the household.
Within the household.
And at an early age
At an
that.
early age, yeah. My father, his word was law. That was it, you know. So yeah, I had that balance. I really did. I was fortunate.
What made you become a Hebrew Israelite? at an early age, or should I say, as a young adult?
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. Wow. Like a lot of young so-called African Americans, I had a lot of anger in me. I was trying to make my way in this world. And when I was around 23, 24, I started studying. I don't want cats to get mad if I say the religion. I started studying the doctrine. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And
the
word, the Bible, and I found out that the original Hebrews were black, and if you read according to the scriptures, the one they call Jesus, it was.
So you were familiar with the Bible?
Yes,
and the Bible teachings at that time.
It prepared me for the left-hand path because I was part of a group called the Ambassadors of Christ under General Hashar. Shout out to all y'all brothers.
So you were preaching on the street,
yes, ma'am.
Basically.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
I call them the uniforms, but I know y'all might have a name for the attire that you wore.
Garments.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
garments.
right.
Priestly garments. And it prepared me for where I'm going to be at now, because we were very aggressive. We stood and we stuck together, bro. We were down for each other. We had brotherhood, sisterhood. Yeah. Like any problems we had, we sat down, we had a council, and then we handled business.
So that was like your first spiritual family.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. When it comes to spells and rituals, what's the difference, or what are they both used for?
Okay, now, I'm gonna break it down like this. The word ritual, it comes from a Latin word ritual, which breaks down to the word rite, which technically is a ceremony. So, a ritual in itself is more ceremonial. I'll give you an example. Technically, a wedding is a ritual, and to be in a ritual is something that's kind of done repetitively. I'll give you another example. On the Sabbath, I do what is called a Sabbath ritual. Okay, I'll blow the ram's horn. I have a singing bowl that I use. I have the sigil of Saturn. I'll put it on my altar. So that's a ritual. Now, spell work is a little bit different because it's conjuring up energy for a specific task that you want to be done. I'll give you an example. I have a cousin that's currently, he's currently in federal prison, but he's about to be out soon, and a lot of that came from my spell work. I did a spell to free him, so you owe me one. So yeah, he'll be out soon. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
That's what's up. Okay. What are some good herbs to use for a healing spell? Or what have you used to heal someone?
I'm not going to tell you all my secrets, but I'll give you something. Well, first of all, one of the herbs I use is hyssop. Okay. What I'll do is I'll take the hyssop, I'll crush it up, and I'll I might roll it onto a candle. I'm not gonna get too deep into it. I'm not gonna tell you all my secrets, but hyssop is one of the herbs I use. It's one of the herbs I use. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Some people who do spell work use candles, crystals, the elements.
Right.
How does that enhance your spells?
It depends on the practitioner. Some practitioners say we're moving to the point where you may not need tools or whatever.
Okay. Use your body as the tool.
Yeah, because technically we are the temple. We are the temple. But to me, tools are essential. You need your wand. You need your candles. You need your coal. You need your cold drink. These are all things that I use in my practice. So, but all right, I'll put it like this: there are times you're not gonna have those things. All right, you're gonna have to use your noggin sometime. You know, mantras. You can use mantras. All right. So yeah, but tools are essential. That's like saying a carpenter shouldn't have his hammer and his chisel, so on and so forth.
Understood. What is the Baphomet? Break that down for the family.
Oh, you taking me to school today? Okay, all right. First and foremost, right? Okay, let's look at the word Baphomet, right? It's Latin. Baphometis, Baphometes. The word actually means baptism in wisdom. Okay, so he said, what does that mean? What is that? Where you going with this? Okay, well, Baphomet became popular in 1098. Okay, due to a spiritual group known as the Sufis. Now, the Sufis are the mystical aspect of Islam, the religion. All right, they would be the mystics back then. Now, also, the Knights Templar were accused of worshiping Baphomet. Okay, and a lot of people try to say that Baphomet was another word for Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? Now, technically, Baphomet is a symbol of balance, a duality, animal nature versus human nature. Okay, now the duality, because one hand sticking up, one hand sticking down, as above, so below. You got the wings spread out. Now, the wings could symbolize astral traveling. It can also symbolize ascending to a higher level through knowledge, through gnosis. The duality also can be with the breast. He has the breast of a woman, and a phallus of a man. So that's combining the masculine and feminine energy. Okay. He has the head of a goat. You understand? Hence the word, he is the goat. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting on top of the earth with his legs crossed, saying that he has mastered this earth. And see, Baphomet is also a symbol for all of us, because we are supposed to master this dimension that we in so we can transcend. All right? Well, I can go on for days. Baphomet is also the symbol for Capricorn. It's also the symbol for the star Sirius. It's also the symbol for transcendental magic. It's also the symbol for Pan.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it has a lot of symbolic references.
Right.
A lot. I see that. And looking at it your first look, it does not seem that way, but as you continue to look at it, you're like, oh, well, what is this? Like, for example, I noticed the snake in the stomach. Like, it reminds me of the health
symbol. That's where they got it from.
You know.
Yeah, your Kundalini rising. So,
yeah. See, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
That's
but see,
up.
here's the thing with Baphomet. It's been used and abused because you look on YouTube, they try to say it's evil. They'll say things like, Beyonce and Jay-Z, they worshiping the Baphomet.
Yes.
Like, what are you talking?
That's actually one of my questions. Do you think the occult has become popular in the industry?
Yeah. See, man, you opening up a can of worms. But I'm gonna say this. There are people. I'm not in that world. Don't want to be in that world. But there are magicians that are working behind the scenes, that are working alongside. Like a lot of those actors and athletes, they don't know what they're doing. They tell them to wear this, say this, do this. But behind closed doors, they do have magicians working, with them. And to be honest with you, they don't want people, especially people of color. And knowing the secrets of the occult, because that's true freedom. Because in order to make any type of change in your life, it has to come from within. And I'm trying to put this in the right words. Until you get to know self and know true spirituality, you're going to always be lost.
How has knowing about the occult helped you?
It has helped me because it's put me on a mission to raise myself back to my titanhood through self-deification, self-reflection, and shadow work.
Tell the family, what is shadow work? And why must it be done?
Okay, shadow work is basically looking at past hurts, past regrets, past pain, past suffering, dealing with it, and moving on. One thing I learned from my mentor, the World Alchemist, we talk about this a lot. And he said, Jag, you never really get over anything, but you learn how to deal with it. You forgive yourself, forgive them, and you move on. So,
you hear that, family? You gotta forgive yourself. What advice would you give a beginner in spell work?
Okay. Number one, be patient. You might have to perform a spell more than once. Very rarely will you get your results dead on. There are times that you will, but a lot of times you might have to perform that spell 3 to 5 times. I'm being honest with you. You got to be patient. And what might work for me may not work for you. You got to find out. You got to get your technique down. Third, I would say, from my personal experience, find yourself a mentor. Someone that, a sorcerer, witch, or whoever has more experience than you, that's been in the game longer, that can show you techniques that can enhance your craft.
You giving lessons?
Nah. But so shout out again to the Water Alchemist because he's helped me tremendously.
Okay. What else do we have? What are some occult practices that a person can start with?
See, that depends. Because I'm a left-hand path practitioner. I'm not into Santeria.
Do you consider
21
yourself
division.
a metaphysician?
Wow. Oh boy. No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Okay. I might get in trouble for this, but I feel that metaphysicians are more philosophers per se. There might be metaphysicians that do spell work. I don't know, but as an occultist, as a left-hand path, I'm more boots on the ground. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm more into doing spell work, doing rituals, So I always consider you getting me in trouble. I always consider metaphysicians spiritual scientists.
Okay.
And I always consider sorcerers, witches, whatever you want to call it, wizards, more doctors. We in the ER. You know what I'm saying? Boots on the ground.
Okay. All right. Is there anything you want to add?
I want to thank you for this interview, even considering me. I want to give another shout out to the Water Alchemists, all the members of the Order of the Red Dragon. And again, thank you.
All right, family. There you have it. We might get a round 2 on this. I don't know. But I want everyone to remain open-minded.
Yes.
Look into some of these things. Learn something new. You just never know. It may help you along your journey. But anyway, we're going to get up out of here. Continue to take care of you,
Yes.
your own universe. Peace, family.
Peace.